Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we start with a story about Mount Sunflower, located in Wallace County. It's the highest point in Kansas. Next, it's the legend of Jacob's Well, a story you'll want to watch when you're not alone. Then we hear from Ron Wilson, our Poet Lariat, with a poem about horse training. We'll end with a look back at the horror film Carnival of Souls. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Well, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And this is Around Kansas.
And I just flew in from Western Kansas just for this episode.
Rode in.
You sure did. I saw that pile of bones out in the parking lot.
Yes, the witch and the ghost rider.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah, we were going to dress up, but we didn't have time, did we, to put costumes on? So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and just imagine at night this all becomes flame.
Or not, or just don't imagine it. Yeah.
Well,
we don't want to frighten small kids.
You brought your transportation.
Is that not a great broom? Honestly, yeah, that's just the best broom ever.
Oh my!
I love it. Hey, I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
I know. Stan out at Norton broke his foot. I know, that's sad, but the good news is, while he was mending from his broken foot, his wife, Carolyn, had Around Kansas on every morning.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's the good news. He got addicted to Around Kansas. But then, of course, Stan mended. He had to go back to work. So that's the bad news.
Well, he can watch it online.
Well, he asked Carolyn. This is the good news. You're right, okay. Online.
Sorry,
but the modern TiVo, he's like, now you have to TiVo Around Kansas every morning now that he's out and working, before, really. That's how hard a worker Stan is. He's a farmer. He's out working before we come on. All these people that complain that we come on too early. Stan is already out in the field in Norton, people. So thank you, Stan. We appreciate your watching.
Okay.
So what you doing this weekend?
This weekend? Oh, let's see.
Now, do you have trick-or-treaters at your house?
Oh, yeah. Well, a few. I mean, we used to have a bunch, but I think they all grew up, and then we haven't had any more young children move into the neighborhood. But so hopefully some will come in.
So are you going to dress up for Halloween at home?
No. I used to do a Frankenstein mask, but the kids were really freaked. So stopped doing that.
Well, out on the windswept prairie, I may just fly around. If I don't pay real close attention, and have the broom outside, I may be airborne before it's over. I found one of those. Michael's going to have to look for this. One of those, made up story. I guess it was made up about all the witches who were arrested for flying over Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
And how they were violating airspace and all that good stuff. So
yeah, but come on, dude, do the line. I'm going to get you and your little dog.
I'm going to get you and your little dog too, my pretty.
Hey, there you go.
How was that?
That was good. We'll be back.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
If you're searching for bulls that offer genetic flexibility, then come to the Dale Banks Angus Bull Sale, Saturday, November 19th, near Eureka, Kansas. Selling 140 bulls that have spent their lives in rough Flint Hills pastures. For 112 years, the Pariers have been focused on providing hard-working, balanced trait bulls for progressive cattlemen nationwide. Make plans to join us on November 19th or bid online at liveauctions.tv. Call the Pariers at 620-583-4305 or dalebanks.com.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community. Visit the Territorial Capitol Museum, where more than 70 trees are displayed with thousands of antique and vintage ornaments, and be sure to stop in the gift shops in both Lecompton museums. Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. We're back. Do you think people are really going to take us serious today?
Do you think they ever really take it seriously?
Oh, no.
Like it really matters,
We've
yeah.
kind of stepped over the line this week, I think.
Yeah, well, we've been over the line for a while, you know. And speaking of witches, Margaret Hamilton, who of course played the witch in The Wizard of Oz, I remember reading about her little boy. He was a child at the time the movie came out. She wouldn't let him see it because, you know, she was afraid it would scare him. And you see your mom looking like that, of course you'd be scared. Well, he went to a birthday party where they showed The Wizard of Oz, and this poor boy sees his mother melt at the end of the movie, so he was traumatized. Isn't that sad? God bless him. He's probably he's probably still in therapy today. I don't know. We should check in on him. So we were out. We did a segment on this a week or two ago, the dedication of the Land and Sky Scenic Byway, and that is the newest scenic byway, and it's the gorgeous scenery out in far northwestern Kansas and the agriculture. So we were out at Mount Sunflower. And this was one of the it was really cold. We just about froze out there. After the sun went down, I'm telling you what, Frank, it got cold. But it was a crystal clear night. It was incredible. It was incredible. Just a beautiful night. Our friend Brenda Culbertson was out there directing the stargazing, and I hope this is an event we can do again sometime.
At 4,039 feet above sea level, Mount Sunflower is higher than any point in Pennsylvania or Ohio. From a low point along the Verdigris River in southeastern Kansas, the land rises to the west until it reaches the high point of the Continental Divide, now in Colorado, but once upon a time the western border of the Kansas Territory. Once we lopped off that piece, our summit was the high plains of Wallace County in a rancher's pasture. Since the summit is actually a gently sloping bit of ground, it wasn't obvious that it was the high point in all of Kansas until the state's centennial in 1961. Officials decided it was time to find the exact spot and came out to the Harold Ranch and declared, "This is it." On a clear day, you can see Colorado from here. Heck, on any given day, you can throw a rock into Colorado from here. It's just right over there. Ed and Cindy Harold welcomed dozens of folks to their place in October as one of the events in the dedication of the Land and Sky Scenic Byway. As the sun sank over Colorado and semis in the middle of harvest raised the dust on the gravel roads surrounding Mount Sunflower, the learned astronomer Brenda Culbertson led the group in gazing at the stars. As folks wrapped in coats and blankets followed her laser pointer to the heavens, she described the Northern Crown, to many of the Native Americans, a circle of great chiefs talking about people on earth and the plans they had for those people. She described the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, to natives, dancing children who danced until they ascended to the sky. Their grandmothers tried to reach them, but they were too far away, and they said, "We'll try again next time you come around." Brenda pointed to the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, the Big Bear. In Native cultures, these are braves carrying the stretcher of a fallen soldier. Behind the stretcher walks the chief, then the chief's wife and her little dog, then the medicine man. It is an honor, she said, to carry this warrior around the heavens. It was a perfect, crystal clear, starry, starry night on Mount Sunflower. We could see past Colorado. We could see forever. Ad astra, ad astra.
Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at two sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back, folks. And we've got some really cool paranormal stories. And I have to tell you, when I first moved to Kansas in 1992, I was in the bookstore in Topeka. And I was going to Washburn University, so I'm checking out the psychology section. I was taking a couple of classes. And right next to me, there was a gentleman in the paranormal section. And so he's like, well, have you read this book? No, I hadn't read any of those books. And he proceeds to tell me that he was on his way to a conference of people who had been abducted by aliens. And apparently there were several folks from around the community that were going to carpool and go to this conference. And I guess he perceived that I was a little doubtful, so he pulled up his pant leg and showed me the probe marks on his leg, which looked dangerously like a rattlesnake bite to me. But hearkening back to a show a couple of weeks ago, he'd definitely been bitten by something. But that was interesting. I had never met anyone before who had been abducted by aliens until I moved to Kansas. So, yeah, do you know anybody that's been abducted?
No.
I bet you do. You just haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. They see you on that chopper, they're going to want you bad. I know. Or me flying around on this broomstick. We're probably next. They're lining up experiment tables for us right now, Frank.
Yeah.
We got a cool story from out in western Kansas. Another really cool ghost story.
Jacob's Well is in Clark County, shy of 40 miles south of Dodge City. A pool about 30 yards across and 18 feet deep. Actually a sinkhole that was believed for years to be bottomless. The Wichita Eagle published this report on October 22, 2011. We think it will still bring a chill to your bones. At St. Jacob's Well near Ashland, legend has it that a horse and a rider were drowned in the horseshoe well that lies at the bottom of High Canyon. On October 27, 1924, the Dodge City Globe reported a Daddy Walters had heard the shrieks of both man and animal. It was about 1 o'clock on a moonlit summer night, and I was kinder wakeful, so I came out here for a breath of air and a peaceful pipe or two. Well, I got the air all right, but not the pipe, for just as I was filling her in with tobacco, I seen a man on a horse standing on the ridge around the pool, Daddy Walters was quoted as saying. I kept watching him, kinder curious-like, 'cause it was pretty late for a man to be a-riding around in these parts at that time, Daddy Walters continued. I suppose he had come there to water his horse, and sure enough, he disappeared down the rim, and I knowed he was riding down to the pool at the bottom. I hadn't heard no sounds until I was just a-lighting my pipe, and suddenly I heard the most blood-curdling sound you ever made on this here earth. It nigh froze me stiff. though I knowed right away it was a sound made by a dying horse. Have you ever heard a dying animal? I grabbed my old nag out of the stable and tore down there as fast as I could, but it was too late. When I looked over the rim of that pond, oh Satan, there weren't a dad-blasted ripple on the whole thing, and nary a sign of man or beast. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.
I was in an accident where I fell off a roof. I don't know why I started to research stem cells, but I did. And I visited with the doctors. They were excellent. I had my neck done, my shoulders done, section of my back, my hips, my sacrum, my sciatica, and my tailbone. Now I am having better range of motion in my arms and my neck and my back. It was a long road to get there, but I'm so glad that I found them.
Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest sport in the West. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Cowboys love to train animals. Sometimes the animals can train us. This poem is entitled Horse Training. On a hot summer morning, I walked out to train a young horse we were teaching to ride in the rain. The flies were a-buzzing in the hot morning sun as I walked to the barn with my two little sons. One said, "Dad, you see those two horses right there standing together like they were a pair? They get close together and that's how they graze, but their heads are facing in opposite ways. So the head of the one's by the tail of the other. Why did they do that?" he asked me and his brother. I said, "You're a mighty observant young man, and I'll answer your question the best that I can. You see, there's lots of flies around this cow lot. They're a natural pest that we've always got. The horse uses his tail to shoo off those flies like I do with my hand if the need should arise. But the tail is too short to reach that horse's head, so they've learned they can partner with another horse instead. They can stand close together, one's head by the other's tail, then they can shoo the flies off each other without fail. So that's why the horses stand together that way. Now go in the barn and get 'em some hay." While the boys did their chores, I stopped and I thought, there's a message for me in that lesson I taught. If horses can learn to cooperate too, there's no limit to what we as people can do. There's some things a person can't do as just one. When we work together, so much more can get done. If we partner together, which is really my druthers, we'll share the rewards as we serve each other. It's a mutual benefit that we can treasure if, like all those horses, we all stand together. It was time to begin that pony's training lessons, but I looked at my kids and thanked God for my blessings. At supper that night, my wife says to me, "How'd that training go for the new pony?" I said it went well, but not in the usual way. My kids and my horses taught me a lot today. Happy trails.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fall is the best time to fertilize cool season lawns such as fescue or bluegrass. Fertilome Lawn Food Plus Iron is the best product available, formulated specifically for the Midwest.
It also contains iron and other micronutrients necessary for the greenest lawn in your neighborhood. Bring in a soil sample for a free pH test while you wait. We'll see you at Jackson's.
Our entire stock of shrubs, roses, berries, perennials, and trees are now on sale at 25%
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Having fun on our Halloween show.
I'd have more fun with candy. But
we have no candy.
I know. Nobody. Yeah, we went to the door and they just slammed it in their face, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't
no
you
treats.
a little old?
Yeah, really. Aren't you a little old?
I'm in my second childhood. Does that count?
Yeah, I might be in my third or fourth childhood by now. Or some people just don't grow up. That could account for it too.
Yeah. If you don't grow up by the time you're 60, you don't have to.
Why bother?
Yeah,
That's exactly right. Why bother? So we've got a really cool film, and Frank and I both, know a lot of people in the film industry and have been involved in a lot of entertainment topics or things over the years. And Carnival of Souls is one of those classics, and you actually had friends who were in that.
Yeah, well, they're Lawrence actors.
Yeah,
and all of that. So yeah, they were in this movie. It's really a strange movie.
It is a strange movie, and I know that they filmed part of it on the old Lecompton Bridge, not the new bridge over the Kaw River, but the old Lecompton Bridge. So folks who grew up in that area, PRAIRIE, Lecompton, recognize a lot of folks in the movie. There were a lot of the locals who were spectators standing on the bridge as they pull the car out. The premise is the girl goes over the bridge and into the water, and so there were a lot of people in that. But we've got some great film connections in Kansas, don't we? Some really cool stuff.
Herc Harvey was born in Colorado and attended KU, where he studied film and later taught at the university. Though he made more than 400 films, he is best known for the horror classic Carnival of Souls. Released in 1962, the film was partially filmed in Lawrence and Lecompton. Harvey died in 1996, and the film database, imdb.com, has some insightful quotes from the versatile filmmaker. In 1990, he was asked about how he first came up with the idea for Carnival of Souls. I was on location in California, shooting an industrial film for Centron, and decided to travel home by car. Driving back, I was passing Salt Lake, and I saw for the first time an abandoned amusement park called Saltaire. Well, the sun was setting, and with the lake in the background, this was the weirdest looking place I'd ever seen. I stopped the car and walked about a half or 3/4 of a mile to the place, and it was spooky indeed. And I thought, gee, what a tremendous location, because it's completely isolated from everything and everybody. I came back and talked to John Clifford, who was a writer at Centron and a co-worker, and told him that I needed a horror script that would revolve around Saltaire. So basically, in talking, we came up with some of the general plot, and he wrote the script in a matter of a couple of weeks. When asked if he was glad that the horror movie was his claim to fame, he replied, "I have to say yes and no. When you work someplace for 35 years making educational and industrial films, and the one feature that you make is really what you're known for, a film on which you spent a total of maybe 5 weeks, that to me doesn't seem right. Some of the things I'm much more proud of, we did in the industrial area. We shot hour-long films in 2 days, musicals with people like Eddie Albert and Ed Ames and so on. Some of those with skits and original music and all that are really kind of interesting. And I think that many of the other films that we made in the educational and industrial area really had something to say. Yet, as you say, I'm known for Carnival of Souls." Roger Ebert awarded the film 3 stars out of 4, stating, "Unlike most of today's horror movies, Carnival of Souls has few special effects, some wavy lines as we pass through various levels of existence, and that's it. Instead, it depends on crisp, black and white photography, atmosphere, and surprisingly effective acting. Carnival of Souls has a cult following and is a traditional Halloween treat for lots of folks."
Well, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb, and this room is just made for one, Frank, so no.
I know, so off you go.
Off I go.
Bye. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.